Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Disco Elysium. This is Crennel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you chose to join me today as I sprint up the coast and back to over here because we're looking for Lucy. No, Lucy. Ruby. Lucy's a different person. Oh. Well, I can do that. I can try it. But that is not where we're supposed to go. Now that we have more... I don't know why the game gave me a little wiggly wiggles over there. I mean, I guess I could try it, but that would be... I think that's bypassing... that's bypassing our objective. We have been told that she is somewhere up in here. We need to... This is making noise. We need to look everywhere. The thing is, we have looked everywhere. And I just think I don't have enough skills. I have no... Maybe it is impossible to finish this quest in this on Wednesday. Or maybe we're just late, because I think we are just late. We spent the whole day just messing around. 2 days just messing around, really. And I think we're late. But I'm gonna give it a try. We're gonna go back over here. And I'm going to try opening that 20%, or rather that impossible roll over 20 is really impossible. I might as well not even get my my interfacing up. Oh, it is interfacing though. Maybe I should get my interfacing up. I thought it was my physical instrument. So let's get our interfacing spectacles. Probably don't have any. No, it's just savoir-faire. I keep thinking... I keep confusing all the skills. This is such an interesting skill set. Interfacing gloves, that's the one. Do I have anything that lowers it? I do not have anything that lowers it right now. Interfacing pants? Savoir-faire, that's the one. That's the one. Okay. Well, it's better than nothing. It is still 3%. And we failed. Yes. You rattle the handle a bit and then push on the door with all of your weight. It does not budge. Not only is it locked, it's also jammed shut. The door's shut tight. How can we get in there, I'm gonna say. The lieutenant shrugs. We don't get in there. What do you mean? We get into, like, everywhere? Frankly, you're just going to have to accept the fact that you can't get in through every single door. No. We've got into every door thus far, says our rhetoric. That's what we do. We open doors. We're cops. That's our perk. Even Evracht knew that's a part of our MO. Well, I'm not going to accept that. The door could be part of our investigation. Relax, says Kim. No one's hiding in there. If we can't open it, others can't either, and thus we can't get in. He looks at the door with a rueful smile, because he doesn't want to get in there. That's why. Well, I am glad... Wait, we have another level? Did we level up just now? We did level up just now. Lovely. That actually might mean a lot of... That might mean... the difference between having to save scum and not having to save scum. Because, well, you can pass every check by save scumming in. I'm not going to do that unless the ones that you can, unless you count the ones that we did already. But those don't count, right? We don't count the ones that we did. So, we're going to the only place we really know... Well, actually, I need to look at the map. Yeah, we're going the right direction here, I think. Because I'm going to try and look at the mural. Because I think that's where... I think this is where we were supposed to go. And we didn't finish it. Yes, Shivers. Found the empty trap, reconstructed the execution, established the nightclub, found the jacket. We're going to be able to try that twice. We don't even have our shiver pants on. So, shiver pants is the pants that a person who shivs wears. Let's see. We actually do have something for shivers. So, we have better shivers now. Okay. That is such a weird thing to call. It doesn't work like that. I'm making the word weird by using it like that in a sentence. Ooh, shiver ties. Oh, that's perfect. My shivers is going up. It's almost as if the game knew that we had to use shivers at some point or another. Encyclopedia. And that's that. Okay, so we have 2 items that bring our shivers up by 2. Well, 3 items that bring it up by 3. And we have 28%. That's not very good. And I'm gonna use my points, aren't I? Well, Shivers. Oh yeah, I am. Shivers is physique, unfortunately. So let's hope that this succeeds. 28% chance to succeed. It's not even a third. Listen to the wind, but for what? Ruby's whistling, the crackle of her bonfire, some errant whisper, or a dog barking. No, shake the feeling off. So we need to bring that up by a little bit. The good thing about this is that if we fail this, we might be able to come back and do it again. Because these points keep going up. That was even worse. What am I doing here? Ooh. Here, a terrible cold comes over you as you think the words. They echo in your skull. Alien, suddenly. As if said by someone else. Someone outside you, around you, not you. The lieutenant looks at you, shiver, worried suddenly. We should go. It gets cold if you stand in one place too long. Yes, and I took damage. So, right now...
Hello again.
Hello again, indeed. Yeah, I'm not gonna ask you for money. Because we have gone over that. And honestly, I'm trying to not do that. I'm pretty sure I did it once, so it's sort of a shame. Either way, we didn't do that. Next time, it's gonna be likelier than before. And hopefully we will succeed. I'm not sure. But we do have checks. Andre. An impossible check on Andre. That one is doable. It's interesting that it works like that. Samaran butter. It doesn't tell me where that is. Set of tracks. Jean Vicmer. I forgot. A measure head. Yeah, I don't know what these are. So we can go for measure head. I don't think we can do that again. And in fact, Andre might not be able to do that either. Pile of clothes. I have no idea where that is. Yeah, we don't really have that many checks, do we? Cafeteria window. Yeah, can't do that now. Yeah, that one is not available, because even when we talked to, whatever his name was, it didn't work like that. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I think I'm good with our checks right now. I'm not good with the fact that we used 1 shivers. But, you know, such is life. Such is the replay value of this game, really. So let's look at our journal and see what we can do. Find booze and drink? No. Explore the whirling secret passages. I need to find a way into the secret passage. I don't know the way. I have no idea how that works. I mean, I imagine it's through those doors, but I can't open them. So it's like, yeah, I don't know how to proceed with that. There is something she wants to tell you. Joyce? Huh. You just have to present her with your badge to hear it. Or, perhaps, if you did her a favor, she could waive the formality off. Yeah, I don't think. It says report back to Joyce. We were there last episode. We're not too far away, though. But we went there. Did I deliberately not report back to her somehow? I imagine the quests don't get... I mean, it's possible that the quests don't get cancelled if you fail them. But Joyce is indeed my my only lead right now. Still reeling from spending that point on shivers and failing, although it was a long shot anyway. 42% chance to succeed might as well be...
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
No chance
Not an umbrella, I hope. I don't need one myself, you see.
Well, I could use a code like that. The rain is freezing. Sadly, I need this one myself. It's hydrophobic, repels water almost magically. The company makes them for offshore platform personnel. Very sturdy. She gives the material another pat. What can I do for you? What I can do for you is answer some questions. Nothing like talking to pass a rainy day. I think it's that one over there. No, it's this one. I spoke with the lorry men at the roundabout. Yes, my eyes on the harbor have sent word to that effect. What have you discovered? We have discovered enough to conclude for now. Yes, and will you start an official investigation? She's trying to conceal her excitement, says our empathy, but the slight glimmer in her eyes tells you otherwise. What tells me that's not how otherwise works? That's not how otherwise works. It tells me that she's not trying to conceal it? Or it tells me that she's not excited. Kim says, if there is an investigation, it will be part of an ongoing operation subject to confidentiality. I'm sure you understand. Of course, detectives, she says, her tone more cautious suddenly. In any case, you've held up your end of our arrangement. I trust you with the rest. Now it's my turn. I wouldn't normally break protocol like this, but the situation demands it. If you don't solve this murder, I'm afraid we may have a bloodbath on our hands. What was that about a bloodbath? Yes, I'm afraid this strike may descend into a small-scale civil war, with possible consequences for all of Havashol West. Since you're sharing, ma'am, this is also the RCM's worst-case scenario, Kim says. Also, he means that is also the RCM's worst-case scenario. Then we're on the same page, as grim as it may be, .. So tell me again, how are the lynching and the strike connected? I have an indirect role to play, I'm sad to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me. In that moment, they elected to deploy a private military contractor as an insurance measure. They called it my security detail. A momentary lapse of faith? They were dispatched after I relayed the union's initial offer. Every worker, says Kim. Yeah, every worker, she's completing it. She says, a member of the board, she nods. I tried to convince my employer it was simply a piece of rhetoric, or a joke. They didn't appreciate the humor. Do you need a security detail? Absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle, pure and simple. They're meant to intimidate the union into surrendering. Who are they, exactly? Asks Kim. She says, Crennel, an Orangese military company. As far as I know, 3 arrived in Martinez. They report to me sporadically, but they do not answer to me. To be frank, our relationship is deteriorating. They wear ceramic armor, have semi-automatic weapons, and years of combat experience. They also have trauma and stressor disorder, and no idea how to conduct themselves in an urban civilian environment. So what happened? The story is one of them, the Colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted a local woman while he was drunk and separated from his unit. This allowed some of the more militant union members to subdue him. He was taken out behind the whirling in rangs, and that's a typo, and lynched last Sunday night. That's, excuse me, that is precisely the story we were told, at least at one point, of course, but that is not what happened, as we know. What then? I ask, and she says, nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbor. I have not been able to discuss this matter with anyone there. The remaining 2 Crennel contractors carry out their orders for now. For now? It's a smokescreen. In secret, they are conducting an independent military tribunal into the lynching. Once this investigation is concluded, executions will follow. What is the nature of this so-called investigation, asks Kim. She says, whether to execute one, some, or all of the Union militants. I have to say, this is not Disco. Boy, oh boy, is that not good. My only hope is that yours provides a single concrete suspect before that's your investigation. Before they indiscriminately pick theirs. Simply put, she leans against the wooden planks. If you don't pin this on someone good and do it fast, they will identify and execute everyone present at the lynching. This in turn will force the Union to respond. The debardeurs have over 2,000 men. It will be 1,000 to 1. Have you ever seen a hornet invade a beehive, Lieutenant? She leans back. It's not pretty. Yeah, the hornet dies, because the bees surround the hornet and kill it with heat, and it's kind of cool. And only a few bees die because the hornet can kill the bees, but it doesn't. Well, if the bees aren't in hibernation, the hornet does kill the bees all, just decapitates them all. Sort of like that's how they kill them. These men work in tandem using semi and fully automatic. That dash shouldn't be there. Semi and fully automatic firearms. Their armor is virtually impenetrable to muzzle-loaded weapons, even yours. Most Union workers don't have guns at all. The muzzle loaders need to be reloaded after every 1 or 2 shots, says our eye coordination apparently. The automatics Is that actually correct right there? The automatics every 1 or 2 minutes. Oh, right. The muzzle loaders need to be reloaded after 1 or 2 shots. And the automatic weapons need to be reloaded after or every 1 or 2 minutes. Of continuous fire? That doesn't sound right, honestly. Because they would have to have cartridges of like 600, 1,000 bullets each. I mean, they could. It's fiction, so, whatever they want. But that is something. Because the rate of firing of a machine gun, of an assault rifle, it tends to be like 300, 600, 900, depending on how fast it is. SMGs would be a lot faster because the bullet is a lot lighter as well. She's silent for a moment and then concludes, as I said, a bloodbath. I can't see it happen. Too many things would have to go wrong first, I'm gonna say. And she says, too many things already have gone wrong. She looks at you, eyes damp from the wind. Lieutenant Double-Effrator Dubois. All we can do is keep that winch... What? All we can do is keep that which has not... From... What the heck is she saying? All we can do is keep that which has not from following suit. Right. They forgot to phrase it. That which has not... What? That which has not what? That's missing things. It's not even that which has followed suit from following suit. Oh, that which... What? That's happened. It's happening. Has not happened. That's what's missing over there. Yeah, that's what she's saying. Also, following suit doesn't work. That's not... This is just mistranslated, I'm pretty sure. All we can do is keep what hasn't happened from happening. One single concrete subject delivered into civil court, and I may be able to defuse this situation. What can you tell me about Crennel? Not much. Their public resume is relatively good as far as private military contractors go. I believe they were once called, Downwell? Down a deep black well, says our inland empire. She says, they boast a long list of clients. Saint Baptiste, Welchman Lawrence, Eindracht, a warning sign, however. The operations concerned all take place in 3rd or 4th world countries. That's not it. That's not a thing. I'm gonna go back to that. Guarding facilities, escort missions, and such. Now, it could be a thing, but even saying 3rd world country in a fictional setting implies that you have the Cold War. Well, it doesn't imply that you have the Cold War, but that's where it comes from. That's the name. 1st world, 2nd world, and 3rd world are terminologies that were mostly used by in countries from NATO, really, to distinguish the alliances, sort of, between countries during the Cold War of the second half of the 20th century. And so that's why we say First World. We're talking specifically about, the United States, Europe, Canada, stuff like that. Second World is Russia and China and India, I believe, as well. And then Third World, I think specifically, even though it has been, the usage has changed over the years, so that's the thing. You can change it as well in a fictional setting. It's just sort of weird, but anyway, you can do that. The thing is, the Third World originally meant countries that weren't affiliated, or directly affiliated, or specifically... It's not that they're not affiliated, because there's a lot of countries that are basically puppets in terms of government to other countries, even to this day. even to this day. Probably even more now than during the Cold War, at the time of recording. You see countries that are basically they're puppets. I say puppets, and I mean I'm not trying to diss their citizens by all means. I'm talking about the government, and even the government. I'm not trying to diss the government specifically. I'm not thinking of any one country. Although I could give an example. Let's go with one example. I know one for the United States, which is basically a country that tends to vote alongside what the United States votes in the UN. I want to say no, not Guatemala. Dominican Republic? No, not that. No, I think it is Dominican Republic. Might be wrong on that, though. So I apologize to all the Dominicanos out there that if I'm wrong. But I'm pretty sure basically what happens is because the United States government, through, the multiple deals, with trade or with aid and all that sort of stuff, gains a certain repertoire with certain countries, and then they basically have their friendly diplomatic reputations, and that's... And when I say puppet here, I do mean as in sort of like whatever the United States wants them to vote for in international dialogue, they sort of go with. Not all the time, obviously, and, even recently, when was it? There was like this big vote recently. Well, I say recently, a few years back now, where the United States decided to... I don't remember what it was. Was it about nuclear weapons? It might have been about nuclear weapons, where basically all the countries of the world voted against, and the United States and a couple more countries voted in favor. And I think one of them was Mexico. Mexico didn't vote. It was something like that. But basically, my point is, this happened... I'm saying the United States because that's the examples I more or less know. I can't even say I know because I don't remember the names of the countries. But Panama might be another one as well. But the point is, all Russia had the same and still has, and there's it's diplomatic relationships between countries. But the thing is, the third world countries were specifically countries that weren't affiliated with any of the powers of the Cold War, or if they were at least in a position where they weren't necessarily responsible or not responsible. You know what I mean? Sort of like what else can they do? Because unfortunately, there's a lot of that when a big power like Russia or the United States decides that this country is not going to get medicine and can trade with anybody, then they don't get medicine and can trade with anybody. And during the Cold War, that would be Cuba and a few others as well. And today we have Iran, and there's a bunch of things like that. Incidentally, the Iran itself being also in very close ties with Russia. It's Cold War having ended is a complicated subject. It did, I suppose, but anyway, the point is, that's my point. The words first world, third world, and we don't even say second world a lot because of the meaning itself is specifically we just derived third world to mean countries that weren't as economically powerful. Basically, that's the end of the day. That's what it means. Countries that aren't as economically powerful as European countries and North American countries and stuff like that. Different people might think of the term itself in different ways. Maybe they think they're just African countries because they're racist, basically. But then again, the term itself and just the general usage of it does lend itself to it does have certain racist connotations. And even in the I mean, it's a Cold War. Of course it has racist connotations. It's complicated. But the point is, fourth world doesn't exist. And understanding it as existing might necessarily have to have certain either racist connotations or just sort of like seriously imperialistic implications in the sense of what this setting is like. Because how would you even get to a point like that? It's just like, they're not even countries. They don't... It's like, what exactly are we talking here? But anyway, she says, guarding facilities, escort missions, and such. Meaning they're used to operations in war zones, says Kim. Yes, all the good conflict corridors. Supramundi, Yesut, the Semenese Islands, countries that don't have a good record reporting atrocious military conduct on their soil. Yeah. Okay, anything else you got on them? Sadly, no. Before this happened, I had little interest in them. Now that I do, Or do have little interest, or... no, wait. Now that you do? Do what? Have interesting at all? Yeah, that doesn't work. If you say you have little interest, that... Now that I don't have little interest. How would you... Now that I have more than a little interest, basically, I don't have the resources, she thinks. If you have access to the ICP's database, you could run a better background check than I ever could. It may take some time, though, she thinks. Do you know a lot about the inner workings of the RCM and the ICP, ma'am? In my line of work, it pays to do your research. I was prepared to deal with the RCM. I did not think I would be dealing with a group like Crennel. Well, we're gonna have to learn about them in the next episode because we're out of time for the day. So for right now, I'm Crennel RPG, and this has been Disco Elysium. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment, like the video if you want to see the next episode come out sooner rather than later. But above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.